Yeah, good evening, friends. Welcome to your wonderful session that is resume preparation. And this side, Gayatri. I'm a data scientist at AiSPRY, come trainer at 360DigiTMG. So, in this session, we are going to discuss about how to prepare the resume, how to align that CV based on the job description. So, first, what is the agenda? Okay, so because if you are going to start anything, we need to know what are the things we are going to learn. So, regarding that agenda, so we are going to discuss about how to prepare your resume. So, what is resume? How to prepare it, and then how to align our resume based on the job description, that is JD, and then how to add the relevant skills and experience based on your past job, and what are the skills you have learned, how to align those things in your resume. We are going to discuss about those things in our session. And then the keywords. So what are the keywords we have to mention? Okay, what are the non keywords we should not mention? So those things we are going to discuss. And then resume layout, and main thing which is cover letters. Okay, so how to prepare that cover letter, how to send that to the resume managers. So those things we are going to discuss. And finally, the tips and tricks. Okay, to prepare the resume, and what are the best practices we have to follow. So first we are entering into the main thing. What is resume? So if you are going to apply for any kind of jobs, it may be a data scientist, data analyst, or business analyst, whatever the job role, you need to explain. You need to mention this is the person who's going to work for this particular job role. So if I want to convey this to the manager or HR, means I need to send a document. So in that document, you have to mention your experiences and what are the skill sets you are having based on that particular role. So these things should be there, that we can call it as resume. So if you are going to prepare that resume, we need to follow some key points. So what are the key points? First thing, visibility. So if you are going to apply for a job role, like few thousands of people will apply for that particular job role. So whatever the things you are going to convey to the particular managers, that should be relevant and it should be more visibility. That means you have to give highlight to your key skills and whatever the experiences you are having. So if you are taking job, okay, so if you are applying for Indian jobs, it will have some different culture. If you are applying for any abroad based job, so that will have some different culture, like USA, Canada, so like that. If you are applying for multiple job roles in various locations, for each and every job roles there will be certain culture, will be the job culture. So whatever the resume you are going to prepare, that should follow that job culture. So for example, if you are applying for the data scientist, relevant job descriptions will be there. For those job descriptions, you have to prepare the resume. And then interview chances. So like you, thousands of people will apply for that particular job. So if I want to select, if I need to select for that particular job role in the sense, so what you have to do, you need to mention the key skills and whatever the experiences and achievements you are having, that should be applied, that should be mentioned in the proper layout. Okay, because if in nowadays the many job roles are upcoming, I mean many job roles are there, and for each and every job roles there is some kind of competitive will be there. Okay, so this is a thousands is just less amount. Okay, like that we are having 10 times of competitors we are having. So if I want to stand out in the sense, I need to mention those skills, experiences, and whatever the achievement that should be in a proper layout. So that is what we are going to discuss for next couple of minutes. Coming to the job description. So you know that as a JD. So if you are applying for any job, so the descriptions will differ for each and every role. So if you are applying for a data scientist, so for that you will have some separate job description. For example, data scientist is a common role. So if I'm having a particular job description is based on NLP, that is natural language processing, or if it is regarding to the LLM, large language model. So like this, we have some particular key skills that will be identified. Okay, that we need to identify so that we can get it from the job description. So we need to prioritize that key skills. Okay, based on the job description, we need to mention those key skills in your resume. And coming to that essential versus desirable, that is desirable skills. So you will have multiple skills. Key skills will be there, but whatever the job role you are applying and whatever the job descriptions they have mentioned, those things you need to mention at the top. Okay. And regarding the job language, so someone will recruit for the Hindi language, someone will recruit for the Tamil or English. So that you need to mention whatever the preferable language based on the job description. And then insights. So whatever the questions, so you can, nowadays we are having so many FA questions, FAQ questions for this resume, not only for resume preparation, and also for the interview based. So we need to predict those questions and we have to prepare it. So before that itself. So you know some frequent asking questions. What are the frequent asking questions? So tell me about yourself. And are you willing to relocate? Those things will obviously you can find it in any of the interviews, whatever the job role. So you can expect those things. Apart from that, we are having some key skills related thing. Okay. So for example, I know about Python. If I'm mentioning in that resume, I know about Python. I know about Power BI. But you doesn't have any knowledge of, in that. But based on the job description, I have mentioned these key skills. So what you have to do, you need to you need to prepare those things before the interview session. Then only it will be useful and it will be easy for you to clear the interview. Okay. And what are the relevant skills? Because we are having so many skills, but based on the job description, we need to mention that in our resume. So list the key skills and based on the experience, whatever the job requirement you're applying. So as the data scientist, we can apply for the data analyst also. Okay, or for ML engineers or AI ML engineers. So based on their requirements, we need to mention those key skills. And then coming to the highlighting achievements. So if you are working in any of the job previously, you have achieved like a star um, star performer and then quarterly performer. So what we have to do? We need to mention those as achievements in your resume and how that achievements are how that achievements are related to your job role that you need to demonstrate and then prioritize your content. So if you are taking a resume, that is your first impression. So if you are giving that impression, that should be crisp and clear. We should not give any content in that resume. So what you have to do, the relevant things you need to mention in a proper way that should be highlighted. Okay. And whatever the things you are mentioning and whatever the job roles you are applying, that should update in a regular basis. So someone will do, they will prepare one resume, they will use that resume for all the job roles. That will not work. Okay. So for each and every job roles, we need to change. We need to update that resume because the JD, job description. The job description will differ for each and every role, for each and every interviews. So based on those JD, you have to update your resume in a basis. And coming to the keywords. So what are the keywords we need to mention? So first thing, relevant keywords based on the job description. And if you are giving those keywords, it should be natural. Okay. So you may say, I know Power BI, Tableau, Advanced Excel, these are all things. So nowadays, agentic AI are coming into the picture. So I know about that agentic AI also. But maybe he know or he may not be know. So what you have to do, you have to be natural. If you are going to prepare the resume, it should be natural. And then the usages, if you are applying for any of the job, so multiple applicants will apply for the same job role. So how they are going to shortlisted in the sense based on one software. Okay, this is not a manual process. So based on the software, you already know about it. The name is ATS. So based on that score, it should be above 70 to 75 percentage. So based on that percentage, they will shortlist the resume. So it is not a human viewers. So not only for human viewers, the software is also analyzing. So if you are going to give some usage of keywords, that should be balanced. And then unwanted keywords. If it is not, for example, if you are applying for a process executive, but in that I no need about the database, those things. It's irrelevant for me. Okay. So if you are applying, if you are mentioning those keywords in that resume, that is unwanted keyword only. Okay. For that particular job description, for databases or ML, those things are unwanted keywords. So whatever the job role, job description that plays the vital role, based on that job description, you need to mention the keywords. Okay. And coming to the layout. So if you are preparing the resume, the content wise, everything is good. If you have mentioned everything in a crisp and clear way. But if you are presenting that resume in the same, it should be in a proper layout. So for that, we have to follow some format. So what is that format means? CFC. So first C representing chronological. So if you are mentioning your studies, if you are mentioning your job experiences, that should be in a chronological order. And then functional. So based on the job descriptions, whatever the relevant keywords, that should highlight first and followed by the other key skills. And then combinations. So whatever the combinations of formats you are using, it may be a color formats or it may be a font, that should be more attractive. Okay. So whatever the things you are mentioning in your resume, that should be readable. Okay. That should be more readable, because if it is very small letters of font, the recruiter will not give some time to read those things. And if you are having very big fonts in the sense, that will also not that much attractable. So whatever the fonts, colors you are using for that resume and whatever the pattern, that should be more clean. Okay, you have to use that clean layout. And then strategic things you need to mention. So coming to the strategic things, the placement related concept. Okay, the position, critical information that should be based on the functional things are. So based on the order, you need to change that. So which is more important for that particular job description, you can mention that in the starting stage. I mean first, and then followed by the other experiences. And then use of visuals. So if you are comparing one skill with another skill, you can use some kind of visuals like bar chart or pie charts. So if you are reading something, instead of reading, if you are representing in a graphs, so that will be more understandable. So that will be more attractable and it is unique thing in your resume. Okay. So this is how we can lay out our resume. Then coming to the cover letter. So cover letter, resume, it's all about the professional thing. Based on your job description, you are giving some kind of professional things in your resume. So this cover letter will give you the personal touch. Okay. So why you are going to apply for this job? So what is the key things you are interested in that particular job description? So those things you can mention in your cover letter and express your interest. So what are the other things? So job description is there. So what are the other opportunities you are interested? You can mention those things in your cover letter, not in your resume. That should be in your cover letter. So whatever the experiences you are having with that particular goal, you should mention that. And then you have to give some proper closure. That is the main thing for that cover letter. So it should be a proactive closure. So which means I need to conclude these things. So whatever the interests, personal touches, and whatever the alignments, experience, achievements you have mentioned, it should give you a proper conclusion for your cover letter. So these things should be there. Okay, professional wise, everything should present in your resume and your personal touches. Okay, related to your job. Okay, not personal means not in your life. I'm saying in your professionals. For your passion, what are the personal things you are doing that you. Okay. And finally, what are the tips you need to remember? First thing, proofread thoroughly. Okay, so which means whatever the documents you are going to apply, so you need to, once you have created that, you need to check for twice or thrice. Okay, sorry friends. Yeah, you need to check for twice or thrice if that is any spelling mistakes or layout is not proper. So these are all drawbacks for our resume. Okay, because for if you are taking one job role, minimum lakhs of applicants will be there. So if I want to shortlist my resume, I need to avoid these things. And then you have to get some feedback. Okay, from your mentors, from 360DigiTMG mentors or your career mentors are there. So, and career advisors, we can say. So, from there, you can get some feedback. So, whether we need to enhance this resume or we need to remove something unwanted things in that resume, we can do it. And whatever the resume you are applying, that should be keep it in the current thing. That means you have to update in the regular basis. So, for example, you have applied, you have mentioned some of the key skills, and now those key skills are what we can say. For example, if you have applied, you have mentioned about the Python. So if you are outdated in that Python concept, that will not work. Okay. If you are applied, if you have mentioned Power BI, and other than that, new key skills you have learned. For example, artificial intelligence. Now I have learned about the Gen AI. So these things are related to my new key skills. So what you have to do, you need to mention those key skills in your resume that should be updated in the monthly basis or periodicals you have to follow. Okay. And engaging in networking. So what you have to do, you need to maintain, you have to build your professional connections. So where we can get those connections in the sense we are having LinkedIn, now free. So like that, we are having multiple job portals. Okay. So you can use those job portals to increase your professional connection. Okay. Not a personal connection. For professional connections, you can get those things from the job portals. Now, so what are the portals we are having? You are mentioning job portals to build your connections, to apply for the jobs. But what are the job portals we are having? In the sense, now please they shine, quicker jobs, Indeed, Monster, Career Builder, Times Jobs, Google for Jobs, Jobs for and then Glassdoor, Upwork, LinkedIn, Facebook. These are the different things we are having as a job portal. We can do that. We can apply for the jobs using those things. So how to search for the jobs? So how the results will be? For example, I want to search for the data scientist job in India means you will get several requirements. Okay, so you can see in Foundit I got 3,722. So to the 27,000 plus data science jobs in India. Like that, you will get different results. Okay, so if you want to search for the fresher kind of job, so that what you have to do, you can do a search. Okay, so junior data scientist or entry level data scientist in India. So you will get whatever the job roles are available or whatever the vacancies are available. You will get those things as a result. So based on that, we can apply for that particular job. So whatever the job role, you need to read that job description. Okay, so in that job description, they can mention their particular requirements. So we have to follow those requirements. So here you can see those things. So if you are going to apply for the data scientist, so these are the technical skills and tools you have to mention, business understanding skills, and then analytical skills. So how to maintain the data, data management, soft skills. So likewise, you can take a screenshot of it. Okay, you can take a screenshot of it and make a note of it. So these things are the important key skills you can resume, but not all. Okay. Based on your job description, you can mention those key skills in that resume. Okay. So what are the frequent questions? Okay, I can expect. So what are the frequent questions? So here you can see, how could you have improved your career progress? So if I'm having some kind of gap in between, why I got that career gap? Okay. So what do you worry about? So what are the examples of your creativity? Are you willing to relocate? And tell me about yourself. These are all common frequent questions you can expect in your interviews. Okay, so finally, I don't know anything with certainty, but seeing the stars making me dream. So This is what I don't have any idea. So based on the job roles we are going to apply, but not for all the things. You have to apply based on the job description. So finally, so if you want to contact the 360 digit MG for more things, so you can contact the toll free number, and we are having a mail ID. You can mail at enquiry at the rate of 360digitmg.com, and you can visit our website. So in our website, we are having a okay. So in our website, we are having a unique selling point, that is resume optimization hub. So let me show you that. So you can visit 360digitmg.com. So here you can see the learning resources. At the right side top, you can see jobs, learning resources and blog. In that learning resources, especially for the resume, we are providing a resume optimization hub product. So what we can do here? Okay, so in this resume optimization hub, you can review your existing resume, or if I want to create a new resume, yes, we can get. So here you can see get started for free now. So you can take a new resume from here. So whatever the existing resume you are having, you can upload those things based on your job description. It will compare. So if there is any unwanted key skills are there, okay, or unwanted keywords are there in your resume, or some of the keywords are missed in that resume, it will highlight and you will get the chance to edit here. Okay. And also we can create a new resumes in this resume optimization hub. So you can visit it, and so whatever the frequent questions you are having and whatever the concerns you are having, you can mail it, or you can have a toll free number. So we are waiting for your calls. Thank you for thank you for your wonderful time, friends. We will meet in next session. Bye. Have a nice day.